Hey all, happy Monday and welcome to SLB Drinks. We tend to purchase a decent amount of whiskey.
A lot. It's a lot.
Let's just put it
We
that
buy
way.
a lot.
And we feel like we need to in order to bring you fresh content as much as possible rather than regurgitating the same bottles over and over again. What I did not know is Trenton is also a collector of some odd bottles that I've never even seen before.
I'm a weird guy. So I like to buy weird stuff. And it's not like stuff, we're going to do a show on this at some point, but it's not stuff that's like finished in a toilet or it's nothing like, it'd be cool.
No, it's just
toilet bourbon.
Yeah.
But a lot of what I try and find, apart from like, I guess, allocated stuff, who's not trying to find some good allocated stuff?
Sure.
It's stuff that's a little bit off the wall, has some, and I like to try stuff that just, I would imagine is going to taste weird. I got several different bourbons not too long ago. Within the last 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to do on a show about some really unique stuff that we think everybody should try and keep an eye out on. But some of this stuff I forgot I had because it's just kind of tucked away in an old dusty corner of my basement while it's being redone. And I figured it'd be kind of a cool time to showcase some distilleries that we think are pretty solid, that I really enjoy, that you enjoy, that you guys might consider taking a leap of faith on and trying for yourself. Even better, though, each one of these, we're going to be talking about 5, and they're all 5 up here. Each one of these bourbons is distilled by the company. None of this is sourced.
Good point.
All of it's on the back. It's distilled in the state that they're in, distilled, bottled, whatever, labeled by.
Yeah.
So there's no MGP stuff here. We do have a couple special mentions that may or may not be sourced. We'll talk about those a little bit at the end. I'm excited, though.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff here.
And I went over to Trenton's
weird,
house
good.
and I'm looking at all these labels and there's quite a bit that's just not mainstream. Let's just put it that way.
Yep.
Not something that you're going to walk into your local store and go, oh, I see these quite often.
Yeah.
You just don't. So we thought we'd put a show together about a great bourbons you may not have heard about.
Yeah.
Before we get started, we're going to taste a few of these too. Before we get started, I want to just a very quick mention concerning our charity coming up for suicide awareness. Our golf outing is actually scheduled for the 24th of May. However, there's no more room for golfers, so that's been filled up. Thank you to everybody that signed up for that. And there's no more room for hole sponsorships. We had an amazing...
Great turnout.
Oh, what a response on that. Thank you all so much for that. But Trenton and or Kyle, whoever's doing that now, I don't know. I just do what I'm told. We'll put a link in the description for anybody that just wants to donate a few dollars towards the cause, because I promise you one thing, every dime will get donated to the hotline, right, Trenton? Yep. To the suicide hotline for suicide and in the helps of suicide awareness. So I wanted to put that out there to you. Probably do that a couple more times before the 24th. So you ready to get started, buddy?
Which side do you want to start on?
Well, I get weird if I don't start from the right side.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about that. Now this bottle is my bottle. This one came out of my basement. I'm going to have to apologize, Trenton, because I'm positive this one was either sourced from somebody in another state to help me purchase it, or it was given to me as a gift. And my apologies, I just did not write the name down. I don't remember who gave that to me, but you know who you are, and I greatly appreciate it. This is Rock Castle, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is about 113 proof, Trenton, and this one is, it's distilled, aged, and bottled in Barrel House Distilling Company in Lexington, Kentucky.
All right.
So, I do not find an age on that.
It's got like a farty apricot type of a thing going on. It's like sour, but I like it.
What? Apricot?
Like a farty apricot.
I thought that's what you said.
Yeah.
I had to ask again, and I'm like, oh man, your mother's not going to be happy with that in the video.
Why?
I don't know.
That'd be fine. It smells really nice, though. Not to say that I like to smell farts or anything, but it smells pretty good.
I don't know what to do with that. I just don't.
We can continue.
I'm gonna concentrate, because the couple whiffs I did have, there was a nice apricot note in it.
It was.
I have to grant you that.
Yeah, there is.
I'm just gonna bypass your other comment.
Okay. I like the smell.
Very nice, though.
Okay, that's pretty solid. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
It got dark. I was thinking it was gonna be this light, springy type of a sip.
No, ma'am. It's really good. It gets in that baking spice. A lot of them baking spices in there, some darker baking spice. Do you catch the little bit of the butterscotch note towards the end of the palate? And that finish is still going.
It's lingering.
It's still going. Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even listen to you when you were telling what the actual name of the bottle was. Can you say that?
Rock Castle.
Rock Castle. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Rock Castle.
Okay. That's really nice.
Beautiful.
What did there's not an age statement on the drink?
I didn't find one.
I would drink that all day long. It's super good. It's pretty woody, but not overly.
I still get a little bit of that apricot there on the second sip too.
I get butterscotch a little bit now that you're saying it.
Yeah. All
That's
right, buddy.
pretty solid.
What you got coming up next? This is your bottle.
This is Tom's Foolery. This is this in particular is a bonded bourbon, but this is from Ohio. Specifically, I knew exactly where it was on the front and I lost it. Chagrin Falls, Ohio. This is bottled and bond.
Maybe Chagrin.
Maybe Chagrin. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry if you live in this area. It's probably incorrect how I said it.
Correct us.
Our good friend Mike sent us these. He actually sent me the rye and the bottled and bond, and there's a 90 proofer. I did like the
Okay.
So there's a little
wow.
bit of everything. I think these
Thank you,
are
Mike.
around the $40-ish mark.
Yeah.
Distilled in Ohio. This,
Amazing.
by law, being a bottled and bond, it has to be 4 years old. So
Yeah.
bottled and bond
At
for
least we
$40.
know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
40
did.
bucks?
Yeah.
All right.
I did like the rye. I also like the
Can't beat
90
that.
proof. The 90 proof, though, for me was just a little bit more on the flat side. I opened the bottled and bond a couple weeks ago, and I do like it quite a bit.
All right. Let's check it out.
Yeah. Have you had anything from these before? Ooh.
No, I have not.
It smells like
have not.
Smarties.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. That's wild. It's like chalky, like sweet chalky, like a Smartie.
A little bit chalky.
You ever cut up your Smartie and
It's almost
Snort it?
it's almost like a grapey candy.
really you do? Ooh. Okay, that's pretty dang good. I like finding an affordable bottled and bond bourbon. I feel like they don't really come out much from smaller distilleries. Usually it's like Buffalo Trace, and you got.
Well,
I
you
can't
got-
name any more bottled and bonds.
Yeah,
off
you
top
got
of
the
my-
OGD,
Jim Beam's.
you got the Jim Beam stuff. You got quite a bit, but it's a tiny bit crafty. I will say that. So there's some craft notes going on
Yep.
there, but I think it's pretty well rounded, even considering the craft notes that are in there. I get a little bit of an orange note in there, to tell you the truth.
I do too. It's like a orange, not zest. It's like when you express a little orangey peel over the top of something. These are really good.
Yeah.
I
very
can't
enjoyable.
remember if Mike had said that they do a cask strength.
Oh wow.
If they do, he might have said, I have 4. He sent me
Okay.
4.
All right.
I tried to find the other one. I had them all lined up. It's like a copper wax instead. There's the white, the red, the green, and then I think the copper. I couldn't find that one.
Were they
But-
hard to get off like all the rest of the wax?
This one, it's got like that shattered, kind of like Knob
Okay.
Creek, but Knob
Just starts-
Creek's wax is awful.
Awful.
The worst. It's nice though. I like it.
Yeah, it is. All right, buddy. What do you got going on next? All I see in the back of this label is Colorado Straight Bourbon.
This is Colorado Straight Bourbon. It's not Old Elk. This comes from Peach Street Distillers. This in particular is a barrel pick from a local store. It's called Litgo near us. I got this a while ago, and I kind of forgot that I had it. I was going through some stuff a couple weeks ago, and I found it. I had like this much left in my other bottle, and I finished it. I liked this so much, I ended up buying 2. This is a 5-year. It is a single barrel. This is 130 proof, so it's pretty
Wow.
it's pretty spicy. I think this was
That's
90.
up there, isn't it?
I think this was $80.
Okay.
But I had never heard of them. I bought this maybe 2 or 3 years ago, so it's been a while. And I haven't seen anything come out from them otherwise. So I don't know if they just do picks, if they have other release offerings that just aren't in Indiana. But this was in Indiana. I haven't seen any other picks from this either.
Wow. Tell me what you get.
I really took a deep breath because I was talking so much, so I really had to. I wasn't even smelling as I was doing it.
I'm getting cinnamon right up front. Cinnamon.
It's like a cinnamon bark.
Yes. No question. Yeah. It's almost. It leans toward Amburana. It's
I
not.
can see that.
It's not.
I can
Don't get
see
me wrong.
that.
It's not. But it kind of leans towards that, honestly.
I could see it. It's got Amburana, whatever the heck, umbrella burana that you wanna say. It has this rotten wood type of a thing almost. But it's not off-putting.
Right.
There's definitely cinnamon here, though.
Sure.
Are you gonna be okay? This is 130 proof. It's pretty spicy.
I'm a little hesitant, but I'm gonna give it a go. I'm just thankful I had a couple of these other ones first.
I mean, that's just solid. This does lean a little bit more towards an Amberana type of a thing. It's a little bit drier.
It is, but man, that cinnamon note, I like it a lot. I really do.
It reminds me a little bit of like a cinnamon Pop-Tart, just not as sweet. But in like mostly the crust and a little filling. It's a little bit unbalanced in that regard, comparing it to a Pop-Tart.
It's a bit cinnamon heavy. Again, nothing even close to an Amburana, but boy, it's solid. I like it. It's different. It's neat.
Definitely on the woodier. If you don't like Amburana, you probably won't like this. But it's not quite at that level.
No.
So I think there's still some room for you to
It's at a midpoint.
explore and check it out, see if you like it, if you can find it. I really don't know availability.
I like it.
Yeah.
I have to admit, some of the Amburanas that I have now, it's something that gets old pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because it's thick, that pure cinnamon toast crunch is just really super sweet and sticky, and
There's no escaping the flavor
No.
profile on that thing.
No,
It's
there's
up in
not.
your face, and it's hard to escape that.
still good for me at times, but
Yeah.
just not all the time anymore.
Yeah.
All right, the next bottle is mine, and I had to put it up there, and we have talked about it before, and I think, and I don't recall a lot of the Whiskey Tube channels covering this other than Phil and Julie and the Bourbon Van, but Old 55 right here in Newtown, Indiana. This bottled in bond is spectacular. It's really good. So it's 100 proof. It's going to cost you. It was about $75. It may have went up. I'm not sure. So it's going to cost you right around that $80 mark.
Yeah, so I didn't even give you a tasting note or nosing notes or anything.
You just went right in for it.
I went full send on it, and I don't regret it at all. We've been trying to get a pick of this for a while.
Yeah.
I've heard that they're producing a little bit less than they used to in previous years.
Okay.
I don't know what the reasons are. I'm still gunning for it. This is a bottled in bond, so it is a 4-year. This was specifically barreled in 2017, bottled in 2021. So this is about 3 years old, just at the current level that it is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Lovely.
It's breakfasty, dude.
It is. It's 100% cinnamon roll. I mean, it's sugary, it's confectionery. It doesn't get deep and dark on you, but it's like sugary candy. It's just so good.
One of the most well-balanced pours that I can name off the top of my head. I do think it leans a little bit much into like the sweetness for me right now. And it could just because we're coming from this one, it's pretty hot, but I love it. I would buy a whole case of these.
I would put this, and maybe we should do a show on this at some time, what our viewpoint of a dessert pour is, a dessert bourbon.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I would put that in a category of a dessert type of bourbon. I really would.
I love it.
Yeah.
A little crafty too, kind of like this Tom's Foolery. Yeah. But it is a craft distillery. They're making their own stuff. All these guys are.
Yeah. Lovely though. Really nice. What you got, buddy?
This is the Wheel Horse.
Okay.
And I think you had this in here.
Yeah,
this is a toasted barrel finish. This is a 2022 spring release, and it's 101 proof. Yeah. Somebody sent us one of these, and it's escaping me. His picture, he had a cowboy hat on. Super nice guy. We used to chat frequently about different releases that he was seeing in his area that maybe we talked about he wasn't able to find, vice versa. But he had he had attributed the profile in this very similar to Wild Turkey 101. He had actually said we should blind this with Wild Turkey.
Okay, well, question him. Would he be referring to the regular release of Wheel Horse or this actual toasted?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's probably the regular Wheel Horse. I have tasted that one too. This one is my favorite, the toasted one here. So I want you to check it out and see what you think.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of his name. It was from a Western movie. It was his name on our Patreon. He was a patron at one point or another. I will try and find the name. I'll have Kyle put it in below if I can find it.
All right. I mean, really.
It really reminds me of Buffalo Trace on the nose. Yeah, dialed down a little bit, like a grape candy-ish type of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wow.
Yeah, and this says 2022 spring release. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they've done a subsequent release in 2023 and 2024. I guess it's not spring yet. Is it spring yet?
It is.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. I live under a rock, if you can't tell. I don't know if they've done another one, and I really don't know availability. This isn't in Indiana, as far as I know.
From my understanding, back then, it was more of a, an every so often type release. It might, at this point, be available more regularly.
Now, I'll say that I think this leans way more towards Buffalo Trace than I do think that it leans towards Wild Turkey. It doesn't have like a quintessential. It has more of a confectionery, sweet candy-ish type of a vibe.
I think the only relation, honestly, because it's 101 proof.
Yeah.
So.
And it could have been the non-toasted barrel one too. I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe. Yeah, the 101 proof kind of automatically relates it to the Wild Turkey 101, of course.
I like that though, and it's not quite Buffalo Trace. It is Buffalo Trace-esque, but it has a little bit more oak influence there at the end that cuts into that sugariness.
Most definitely. Yeah.
In it, but.
I think it's solid though. I really do.
I mean, and honestly, we have 2 more special mentions real quick that we can do. You want to go? You want me to go?
I can. Yeah. I want to mention this, guys. Of course, I somehow got to get a single malt in there, some form or fashion. I always do in these kind of shows. A good friend of mine, Ben, he has his own Instagram channel. He highlights beautiful cocktails. Check him out at Liquid Cube. And I believe that's Q-U-B-E, Liquid Cube. Yep. Good friend Ben gave us this bottle when we had a meet and greet in our last journey over to Atlanta.
Yep.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
And this is the Indri.
You have room on your right there.
Okay.
That guy.
It's an Indian. It's an Indian single malt. I was trying to make sure my glasses work. It's an Indian single malt, and it has 3 finished casks. Maturations in this. It's an ex-bourbon cask, ex-French wine cask, and PX sherry casks. Beautiful bottle. If you have not tried anything from Indri on an Indian single malt, this one is spectacular. The deep, rich fruit note in here is out of this world. I love it, as you can see. I haven't had it a whole lot, but man, it's delightful. Thank you, Ben.
And I did try that, and I liked it quite a bit. So that's kind of saying something. I am kind of dipping my toe into the single malt in my realm, though. Yeah. Mine, and I will say right off the bat, this is sourced from MGP, but I thought I would highlight it because I just got it recently, and it's very good. This is from Subtle Spirits. This in particular is a Orange County Bourbon Society pick. This is coming from MGP. It is 11-year, 5-month MGP rye.
What? Are you kidding?
No. And what I like about it is it's similar to how Still Austin does some of their. They did a cognac rye that was similar to how the Subtle Spirits did their label.
Beautiful label. When he brought that down, that label just obviously stood out.
Original art by Jason Lewis.
Wonderful.
Very, very cool. I like it, and I mean. I almost debated on not putting this in here because it is MGP, it is sourced, it's 11 years. So, I mean, if you like rye, how could you not like an 11-year MGP rye? I don't think Subtle distills any of their own spirits. I think it's all sourced. But I don't know what their process is for selecting barrels. I don't know if they buy barrels, taste them. If they don't like them, they get rid of them or how they do it.
That was a good one.
But whatever is in this, I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is really good.
It is sourced. It's 11 years, so it's not cheap. I think this was $110 or $130 or something. Sure. So keep in mind this is more on the premium side, and whatever I paid for it is not cheap, especially for a rye. So there's definitely better options. If you want to see a rye video, I just found a box of like 20 ryes that I have not opened that are on the cheaper side. Love to do a video on it. So let us know in the comments.
There you go. All right, buddy. Good job. I mean, you came up with some really stellar bottles for this particular video. I had a couple, but you did the lion's share of the work here, and I really enjoyed this tasting. It's been fun tasting some different things, right? Things you might not see everywhere you go.
And stay tuned because we're going to be doing a video on some of the most unique stuff that we've ever tried, and it's a lot of fun. It's going to be really good. So stay tuned for that. Even if you're not a big fan of finished whiskeys, I think there's still going to be some for you in this one, so stay tuned for that.
Awesome. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.